Welcome, to Silicon Valley Impact, where business insight meets startup innovation. And now, please give a warm welcome to your host, Mr. Brian Sparks. We got a lot of antics going on.
Brian, yes, we have all the energy rolling in the room today.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
I love it. Yeah, we had to calm everybody down before we actually got going.
I don't think that worked.
I didn't think that worked. It's going to roll right in. We got Jing, David,
anybody who's listening only, you'll have to shift over to YouTube to see what was happening in here. But everybody's super energetic and excited, which they should be, because this is Silicon Valley Impact.
Can't say it enough. All right. I want to welcome everybody to Silicon Valley Impact. I'm your host, Brian Sparks. The purpose of this show is to have honest conversations about what it takes to build great businesses and communities so that you can make an impact within your own. Nice, Brian.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I matched your cadence that time. It's really my life's work to come in here once a week and just like say that one sentence or that phrase. Really
keeps you up the night before.
I practice. I am in the front of the mirror. My kids, my wife, everybody's sick of it. Within your own.
Within your own.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got? Oh, first of all, I just want to, I mentioned YouTube. I'm going to mention it again. We're on YouTube. If you're listening only, you can go to YouTube, search Silicon Valley Impact. And when you get there, this is very important. I want you to hit the subscribe button, please. And if you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button, please. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Adelani did a great job. She was our intern for the summer. She really did a nice job getting us up and running on YouTube. So yes, follow us.
It looks great. I mean, I think it's a great place to be spending your time, right? Like your leisure time with Silicon Valley Impact. All right. So, Brian, what do you got? You got a couple things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we got a few things coming up in October. Before the show kicked off, we were talking about SF Tech Week. Officially, we haven't been invited to any of the after parties yet.
We will. We're not worried.
We're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got a few other things that are going on. One, we're headed out to Opal. We're heading out to Napa to do another Opal Spotlight, where we get to talk to a lot of the investors. You get to talk to a lot of the special guests. Last year, I had a chance to meet Patrick Willis, one of my 49er football heroes. And there's going to be a lot of great speakers out there again this year. If you're interested in getting tickets and joining us out there and getting interviewed, go to opal.org, opalgroup.org, and get your tickets for the Napa event. They do events all over the world. They're year-round. Great group of guys. David Lieberich is a good friend of mine. So,
and we were up in San Francisco a couple months ago doing interviews, and I mean, some phenomenally talented and experienced people were in the room there. It was amazing. Some great interviews. If anybody wants to go back and listen to those.
Yeah. So this in October we will be in Napa, and Brian and I will try to keep it together.
We'll try and keep it together. Good luck to us.
Yeah, and then 1 week later, Brian, we're an official. It's technically called an unofficial TechCrunch after party. We are the TechCrunch.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're an official, unofficial. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah, I know.
I might get a letter from TechCrunch, but look for the Luma. I'll put the link in the show notes. But you can also use the QR code that we have to get 25% off your tickets for the TechCrunch event. That's coming up October 27th through 29th. And we're excited to be out there.
And are we going to have links to that someplace?
I'll have all the links in the show notes for tickets, as well as the TechCrunch after party, which will be happening on day one. So we kick it off.
Excellent.
Yeah, it'll be
fantastic.
A lot of fun. Yeah, I want to give a shout out also to Stack Ventures and the Agentic. These are huge partners of ours. More links and connections in the show notes, but a lot of good stuff.
All right.
Ready to kick it off, Brian?
I'm done. I'm signing off.
Gonna get back to you
until I start talking again.
It's nap time.
Yeah. Until then,
all right.
Adieu.
All right. Let's not forget, we got three great people in the house today.
Oh yeah, cheers. Oh, I'm being pointed to the.
Yeah, Brian's telling you how to.
David, thank you.
David, Dillon.
Yeah, man, I'm so failing on the clock, but now it's running.
All right, we're off and running, and I want to welcome Jing, David, and David to the show. Great rock stars. You're going to get a chance to hear their stories. you're going to get some great insight today. But Jing, give a little quick intro about who you are to our millions and millions of fans who are listening now all over the world about what you're working on.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Jing Kuang. I'm globally famous investor.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Nice.
Well, now it's kidding, but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm the founding partner of Y Plus Ventures. I was born and raised in China, came to the US for education at Stanford. Post-graduation, I returned back to China and did cross-border M&A and investment. So I have the fortune to see the whole up and downs in China's whole VC ecosystem. And then post-pandemic, I decided to return back to Silicon Valley. Now I live in Palo Alto. Palo Alto is my home base now, and started Y Plus Ventures. And Y Plus Ventures is our modern VC fund investing in consumer AI applications at the earliest stage. So yeah, thank you for the invitation, Brian. And I'm looking forward to chatting with David and David.
Yeah. So David, so we got two Davids. Go ahead, Brian.
I just gave David the silent, hey, quit swiveling your chair, dude. And he gave me the thumbs up and then just swiveled on.
Not this David.
Not this David.
Okay, I gotta stop swiveling.
All right.
I'll try really hard to sit still. It's almost impossible to.
All right.
What did you think I was over there doing?
I don't know. I thought you were
Stretches.
trying to take a little dance.
Working out a cramp over there.
Yeah, exactly.
just
Oh,
swiveled
Brian's
on.
got a little jig going on in the corner there.
Supposed to join you.
All right. So, and quickly with two Davids here, don't give yourself a nickname. So Swivel David.
Oh my god!
Wow. So early on.
That's sideways really quick.
David, give a little intro to our audience about who you are and what you're working on.
Sure, I'm David Sarabia. I am a multiple-time founder. I started coding at 8 years old.
You're moving now?
I'm moving again. I started coding at 8 years old. Had 2 exits in my mid-20s. One's a unicorn now, and basically fell to addiction after that. Unfortunately, I moved to New York, and New York happened, as you know that very well. I ended up eventually recovering, thankfully, and I went to rehab, and I was inspired to build my first health tech company called inRecovery, which was really one of the very first data-driven care platforms for addiction and mental health. And that's been about 7 years later, or almost 8 years later. I'm now working on Clinica Mind, which is I'm the co-founder of that and CEO, and we're building the future of healthcare AI.
And the
Very
name of the
focused on
company?
conversational.
Yeah. What is the name of the company?
Clinica Mind. Like Clinica in Spanish. I'm Mexican. So
Okay. Clinica Mind.
Clinica Mind.
Clinica Mind.
Yeah. Almost like Deep Mind, but just Clinica. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do a deeper dive
Yeah, we'll
into
do
that, your story, life post unicorn and exit. So a lot of good stuff. David, other David.
D2. Yeah.
D2. Yeah, D2.
D1,
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Tell me what you're working on and do a little intro for
Sure.
our audience.
Yeah, my name is David Menard. I'm one of the locals here in the Bay Area. I was actually born at Stanford Hospital, only because it was cheaper. But self-educated, really dropped out and just went to hackathons and started building companies and got into blockchain pretty early. Recently exited that company I spent about 8 years at. We put billions of dollars on chain, real world assets for the supply chain. And it was a lot of fun. Previous to that, I was a patented designer, built a product out that Alibaba vendors stole our photos, flooded the markets, and had a great time learning those valuable lessons. But now what started out as kind of consulting has turned into more of a vibe venture studio, where we're able to roll out certain products with partners like the Agentic. But what I'm spending most of my time on these days, I also have a CTO role with the Care Connxion. So we're building out a two-sided marketplace for the home health industry, specifically physical therapists and agencies, and solving that staffing problem, almost like the Uber Lyft, where it's just, you need that on-demand third-party staff. So.
Okay. All right. We're in the health space today. Mental health.
That's cool.
Yep.
And would you call it regular health? What do you classify it as?
This is just more of it's an element of healthcare, but it's more in the staffing.
Yeah.
And then the staffing shortages that they have.
Okay. All right. I want to. Did you guys see my new little toy?
I did.
Yeah. So we have enough technology in here. I got the plot. So
What's it called?
You got to show them.
Such
at
a-
least.
Yeah. Can you hold it up, please?
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah. So you may be asking, what is this? I got.
Hold on 1 second, Brian. Keep it there.
All right. So
Yeah, thank you.
So this is cool. So I turned this on, and for those of you who can't see, who are listening on the podcast, it's a plot I got off the TikTok shop.
Oh,
and
wow.
so it's going to record all our conversation, and then I can summarize the transcripts and use that as show notes or just an intro. So cute little tech thing. And you were saying that someone else has this, they have it on their shirt?
Yeah, so I mean, even OpenAI, their whole thing with Johnny Ive,
Yeah.
that's why they brought him in, is to have what looks like a pin, so that you can wear it and then it's understanding and listening to your conversations. But there's a lot of business use cases, I would say, for that as well.
Yeah. I have such random impromptu conversations with great people that I got to capture it. And then of course, summarize it, because there's a lot of great conversations being happen in the ecosystem. And we're gonna have a great conversation today. So moving right along, but Jing, you launching your first fund, in the process of doing that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what you're focusing on right now in terms of building out your fund.
We are like a startup.
Yeah.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, and I think eventually VC is a marketplace that connects LPs and capital and founders and startups. So yeah, building fund, I think it was a very humbling journey as well. So we're doing our first close now. Yeah, so hopefully.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. And while we're doing our first close, we're also actively investing. So, and also we're onboarding our advisors. So for example, YouTube's co-founder, Steve Chen, is also our advisors. And as well as other, for example, Ilya Straplov, who is Stanford go-to professor for VC and PE.
Nice. And I'm going to let you keep ripping, but
Yeah.
you interviewed him because I also want you to talk a little bit about what's unique about you is you're building a community.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing that Stanford VC alumni group, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you talking about Ilya, right?
Yeah, Ilya.
He's going to be one of your advisors, but this is because you've put a lot of effort into building community as well.
Yeah, that's true. So we have essentially Stanford become our launchpad. Essentially, we have 2 fellowships at Stanford. One is the VC fellowship. We are we acquiring the aspiring VCs at Stanford as a Stanford student, because there's a VC. There's a problem in VC ecosystem. There's a chicken and egg. As founders, you may not know that VCs, you need to have VC experience to get into VC. However, how come you can have without the job, you cannot have the experience? So essentially, we launched a VC fellowship at Stanford for aspiring founders who come from non-traditional background. They could be international students, people of colors, or females who doesn't fit in the traditional mold, and we give them mentorship trainings, but also we put the real world scenario, ask them to source deals as well, and ask them to analysis deals. So yeah, that fellowship went super well. And then with the spirit of similar things of mentorship and tapping into the tomorrow leaders ecosystem, we launched a technical builder fellowship at Stanford in this summer. So we gathered some aspiring technical founders who are very talented at doing the vibe coding or CS at Stanford. And then we also give them mentorship and we ask them to have the automated AI workflow for our fund. And because one of the edge is we feel like right now we're in 2025, VCs should have different approach to how they source deals, how they evaluate deals. And we only have 24 hours. We cannot, that's the time to be our bottleneck.
Sorry, you're saying so much good stuff here. What are some of the things that you're identifying in traditional VC that you're implementing into this boot camp fellowship that you think is important as you kind of move forward as an investor?
Yeah, I think basically, traditional, I think VCs, they always have this kind of like founder incubator programs. They are targeting at founders. However, how can you make sure you can find the best of the best founders from that ecosystem? Arguably, the best of founders probably don't want to get into that program. And so we are using another approach, sweep the nodes as probably the significant nodes who are connecting to those talented founders, who could be business leaders, who could be the aspiring VCs or aspiring founders, technical founders. They are living into the same ecosystem, but they are not necessary to be that founder by nature. However, they are super important nodes in the ecosystem. And on that side, we can fit in this as a future pipeline, future talent pipeline for our portfolios as well as for our funds.
So this goes back really to the importance of building a network. I mean, that's really, I mean, with all this technology going on, sure, you know, things are going to change. And I'm not going to trot out this idea people will lose their job. We don't know, right? The pie may get bigger, opportunity may grow. We don't know. But what is really coming to the forefront is what you're deploying, Jing, and a lot of smart founders are deploying, as well as other VCs, is this community first.
Right.
Like how can I pull in the best of the best by having this pool of resources for them to, it's almost like the watering hole. The best are going to come to the watering hole where the resources are, not just where that one piece of knowledge is. And so I definitely want to get you two and David in on this. Do you see, I mean, because you've both built multiple companies. Do you see that shift happening where it's like you just don't go to one resource, you're going to where the community is? Is that emerging more for you guys? David, I see you got something on something.
Yeah, the more you say it, it's interesting because it sounds like our Discord, right? Because we have multiple projects going, but we have, you know, like the digital water coolers so that people can cross-pollinate and share ideas. And the research channels are also open to everyone in the whole portfolio. So it's really, everyone's trying to share research in real time together so that if that can help impact or be an edge to any one of the projects, you know, that's why we do it. But it sounds like what you're doing is do you actually have a platform, or is it?
Yeah, we have like
cool.
fellowship programs at Stanford.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
I'd love to mentor if you need anyone. That's so cool.
Is it like a
Yeah.
web
I
app,
love it.
or is it like?
No, we do like physical classroom
okay.
locations.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
also
in-person
have,
type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but
like an
also
in-person
have a
fellowship.
hybrid for the technical builders program. Yeah.
Amazing.
Do you have to be just a part of Stanford, or you can tap into it as an outsider?
Yeah, so far the fellows you need to be in for the Stanford current student, but the mentors or whoever who contribute to the ecosystem, we are outsourcing like outside. We will come outside of the whole Stanford, because essentially I think is we want to find the best from the best, no matter where you come from. We don't care where you come from, and yeah.
And so you also do a speaker series. This is where I saw you
yeah.
and Yala, and anyone can come to those speaker series. Is that correct?
So I also chair the Stanford GSB VC alumni chapter. We gathered some thought leadership from the VCs or legendary VCs as well as the founders to our community who are mainly for like Stanford, for example, alumni and friends, and we set the events on campus sometimes and sometimes off campus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a lot going on there. So you're definitely doing the right thing by building this ecosystem and really utilizing that. Sounds like you have this rich pipeline going. We're going to jump to in a little while asking you about like how are you going after the best of the best and what's that decision making process. Yeah. But I want to bring in David's here. David's one of the
I'm glad that you're bringing people from the outside because
Yeah.
I mean he's a dropout. I got kicked out of high school. I was arrested. I was hacking the school district, but that's a whole different conversation to have. But it's really great. Thankfully it's sealed, but now I've exposed it, right? But no, you know, it's really great that you're bringing outside people from not just the Stanford ecosystem because it brings so much more richness to the experience of the fellows that are going through that.
Yeah.
So David, talk about how you're building and have built your companies in the past. I mean, you've had multiple companies, you've had one unicorn and an exit. Talk about those early stage experiences that you had, and then we'll get into the post experience because I'm sure it was like a high. And all the founders who are listening right now, and I'm sure David, you would agree as well, you're going to go through a roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about those early stages that you experienced in multiple companies. What was that journey like for you?
Yeah. I mean, I've lectured at Stanford and at MIT and even Harvard, and I've had kids come up to me like, should I be an entrepreneur? I'm like, oh, absolutely not. Go get a job, have a nice life. Like, don't do this to yourself. And it's like they look at me like I just killed their cat. But you know, it's a rough journey. I mean, you have to be super resilient. I mean, and that's just, and saying that you should be super resilient, I think, is an understatement. Ultra probably whatever's next after that. But for me, I mean, you know, I was kicked out of high school. I had basically I didn't have a traditional path. So, but I've always been very entrepreneurial since I was like a teenager. And I've always been a builder since I was a kid. You know, I started coding at 8. So, you know, and I've always been the kind of person that likes to figure things out. So I've kind of always been in the hacker ecosystem. 2600 magazine, I don't know if you know that, but like it's all the
What was that?
2600 magazine, DEF CON, like the hardcore hacker communities. Yeah, we should just do it for fun. Like recently, I my dad got locked out of his house, so I created a lockpick and I opened his front gate, front door, security door, and he was like both impressed and worried. Like, how do you know this? It was just kind of like,
were those mechanical locks or digital locks?
No, mechanical. That would have been easier actually, the digital ones. But no, like it was just part of our education as hackers. We just kind of figure how to break puzzles, and it's not even a malicious thing, but that actually really influenced my approach with entrepreneurship, because nothing can stop us. We just figure it out, right? And that's, you know, you had China steal your designs, and you just have to, you know, bounce right back and figure the way forward. So
yeah. And so what are some of the, I mean, you talk about resilience. I mean, is that something that you decide to throw yourself in the arena and you developed, or do you think these founders are just born with it?
I mean,
or it's both. Maybe there's a hybrid.
It's both.
Yeah,
I think it's something that can definitely be learned. I mean, I grew up in the rough part of town. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the projects essentially. So I was very poor and grew up around crime and drugs. Funny thing is that I never touched them. It actually taught me what I don't want to be, what kind of life I don't want to have. And so I was always very, very focused on building and getting out of it. Right. So for me, I think it's kind of built in to some extent.
Yeah.
But I think as you mature in life, as you have experiences, as you have adversity facing you, you just step up to the plate.
We had Dr. John Baird in here, I think, what seems like 100 episodes ago. He left this book on our shelf, Leading with Heart.
Yes.
And in the book there, he talked about a lot of the due diligence process into founders is, do they have a backstory that gave them that resilience?
Right.
So is there something, for lack of a better word, the traumatic that they overcome that shaped them to be, and that's something that they look
Absolutely,
at.
yeah. And you know, I think about my father, right? So my father and my grandfather were both boxers. They're from the worst part of Mexico City called Tepito. It's like the barrio. And basically that is where some of the best boxers in the world come from. And my father and I love watching boxing matches. He's 90 years old now, but we're very close. And it's kind of interesting when you see the generation of boxers that came out of that really rough area. They're just phenomenal compared to people that even like their children, like let's say a famous boxer like Julio Cesar Chavez, his son sucks because he had no roughness in his upbringing.
That old school, older generation, they had the why.
Yeah.
They had a why behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they were desperate to either get something out or work it out or just accomplish something or just actually defend themselves.
Yes, exactly.
And the why, I think, is missing from that younger generation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think you have too many whys now. So you get to pick
Oh,
and
Lord,
choose your
that's
why
also
versus,
probably true.
Versus like, this is your only why now. You want out, this is it. Versus Instagram and just scroll, I'll pick this why.
That's true. That's a good one. That's true. Yeah. So you're, again, you this resilience here, it was kind of innate in you growing up, and that was one of your superpowers as you built these early companies.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my first company, Uprinting, it's still a massive company. Really proud of that one. You know, and it's actually really interesting that people, our core team is still there. 15 years later, they're all worth tens of millions of dollars, and they still show up at 9 a.m. and just jam because they love it, you know.
That's cool.
And that goes to also show like your core team is everything. Like you hire the right people that are going to be there with you throughout their journey, because it's not just about your own resilience, it's about the team that you have around you. And you know, the board of Uprinting still says like we've never been able to hire anyone like that. Doesn't matter how much money we offered, how much stock we offer, no one has that like deep love of this company, which is really cool.
Yeah. So I got to ask you this because you brought that up, and I'll ask all of you this question, and I ask everybody this I chat with. You do what you do because there is a love, and so what about it that you love through this entire journey? I mean, is it kind of like the balance factor? I really believe people who are passionate have equal parts pain in their life. And equal parts love for what they're doing. Absolutely. And if you can't find that in the founder and the founding team, it's kind of a quick pass,
go,
right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, same for me. Like I angel invest a lot, right? And I mean, not anymore. I don't have the money anymore, but I used to. And I mean, I would always look for that. It's like, what's your real reason why you're doing this?
and what would be yours? Because you've done so well.
Oh God. I mean, at this point, I've been homeless at one point, like I told you. I mean, after my second exit. So after printing, I took a bet we'd all shop on our phones in the future, which turned out to be right. And Magento acquired us. It was basically one of the first touch-based. We would take basically a Google feed, XML Google feed, and turn it into a beautiful website that was made for your fingers. Back then in 2007, if you remember, everything was like usable net as those shrunken websites that were just lists, and they were just horrible. Meanwhile, the browser and the phone is phenomenal. It has so much technology. And so we reimagined the whole idea of shopping with your hands. And I figured that's going to be the future. And so Magento acquired that. That's part of Adobe now. After that, I moved to New York. Time, money, and cocaine are a very bad mix. I was cool for the first time in my life, that was really bad. You probably understand this one. Yeah. I mean,
That's pretty much what I aspire to.
Yeah, I've never felt
Time, money, and cocaine. What are we doing here?
or cool.
I mean,
I've never
listen,
felt cool.
It definitely was fun, but it got to a point where it was no longer fun. It got to heroin. Just like, this is my heroin injection here. It follows my vein. Music saved my life, actually.
Okay.
So, as we were talking about music earlier, this is I was in a really dark place, and being homeless also, I think, was probably the best experience I ever had. I was 3 months homeless in New York in the winter. You had to hack out being homeless, which is crazy, right? Like you either you lose your mind.
Okay, I don't want to steal the train, but for our listeners, I think your homelessness was your rock bottom.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's going to have their rock bottom. It may not be as intense as what you're sharing, but it could be just equally as significant. Right.
It's all about the circumstance, right? I mean, it's significant in your mind, and that's everything. And so for me, like having that experience, I mean, at this point, like there's so much drive to do things that'll help people. Having experienced addiction firsthand, having experienced homelessness firsthand, I mean, I can't imagine doing anything outside of healthcare anymore. So I'm actually really grateful for that experience, because I ended up going to rehab. Not after my homelessness, but about 5 years later, when my best friend passed away. Jake Greenwald, he's a big tech investor, founder of Daytrend Media, amazing human being. When he overdosed, I was like, I'm next. Like, we're doing the same thing. We're just partying, girls, cocaine, that whole, we're functional cocaine addicts in New York. And there's too many of them, as you probably know, in the music industry. I mean, it's crazy. And so, that was my driver to go to rehab. And I checked myself in, and basically there I was just completely inspired by how much need there was for innovation in the healthcare space. They were working on this EMR that looked like Windows 95. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they had no data on us. They couldn't really understand us. Like, if we all went to treatment, we're all so fundamentally different. We'd get the same umbrella treatment. And that doesn't sound right? It's like, why? So I figured, okay, let's make this better. And that's, where that was born. But now, I've been offered after that, after inRecovery, I was offered, positions at Amazon, and all these companies were trying to poach me. And I was like, no, I want to build healthcare.
Yeah, you were living the problem, and you were solving it.
Yeah.
I love what you said about you had to hack yourself out of addiction. I think that's unique, no matter what silo someone may be in, or
homelessness, actually.
Homelessness. But there's a hack. There's a life hack.
Right.
Just as a founder is trying to hack a problem. So I love this. And David, you're over there, you're shaking your head, and you're not that you had the same journey, but early stage startup has challenged you as well. And you've seen it from different perspectives. Talk a little bit about your journey in the early phases of your startup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, almost similar background, but just different timing. I started off my youth partying a lot. The first product I
was late.
I invented the light up sunglasses that were sold, dominantly at all the raves, with the biggest parties around the world. So that kind of brought me into that scene, that lifestyle. And once the Alibaba vendors started copying the photos and flooding the markets, the show was almost over. And then at that point, it's like, now what? So I decided to introvert pretty hard, learn how to program, since there's so many jobs in the area. And at that time, blockchain was just taking off. So I decided, okay, that's ground level. Nice. And from there, just really seeing how to productize that type of technology. I was very passionate as a builder, coming from like hackathons and stuff like that, just seeing what's possible. But yeah, now in terms of, building the startups, as you were echoing on, culture is everything. Yeah. So I'm so hesitant to hire right now just because I understand how important culture is. Yeah. I had that exit, but it wasn't, as glorious. It's one of the others where I won't get too much into it, but it's just more of, I'm no longer part of the company, but the company's still going.
Right.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that because I like to build things, and I have a lot of good ideas. So now I think that's where the venture studio kind of started. I was doing a lot of consulting, just helping people afterwards.
And give the name of your venture studio.
Oh, Invaluable Labs.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go to invaluablelabs.com. Nice. But it started out really just consulting and helping other founders who I've already raised money. I've already gotten publicly traded companies as customers and, built out 15-person engineering teams and stuff like that. And it's a lot. It's heavy. So being able to help multiple founders now, I think is more fun. I'm more of a better helpful in that way instead of trying to lead everything and being that linchpin of success.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
I think there's a common thread here with all of you in terms of not only, building a product, but team building.
Right.
There's a process, and there's an importance of bringing the right people together, and why investors like Jing look at the team. And a lot of other investors talk first about with the team, because early stages, the company may change in the early stages, but you're almost married to that team.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
100% you are.
Yeah.
And I think especially early stage startups, the founder is the company actually heritage the DNA of the founders. So the founder and the company purely like mirror 100%.
Yeah.
And so I think the ideas doesn't matter that much, but the people and I think I echo absolutely on the whys and culture. And if you look at, for example, if you are one people team, you are 100% of the company's culture.
Right.
If you bring in another people in, you change 50% of the company's culture.
Yeah.
So that is significant.
Right.
So I totally echo, you should be more cautious in bringing who you want to bring in on board, and always like hire slow, fire fast.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to let people go after you figure it out. So do that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And
what are some of the insights that you guys learned about in finding that right fit in your early stages? I mean, are these people you knew already, or you kind of know you hunt and you're looking for something?
Yeah, I think it's you want magic to happen, I would think. I don't know about for you guys, but I connect with a lot of different people all the time, and this one group specifically who I'm now working with the most, the Care Connxion, they've already been running a business for 7 years together as co-founders. Nice. So me being the late co-founder coming in, I was more of the tech heavy side of things, but just seeing how well they work together, it's been amazing to see, and seeing that culture and then being able to kind of add to it rather than having to, drive 100% of it as like a CEO would. So
nice.
And I got to ask you, and Jing, I'm going to ask you this question next, or maybe I'll ask it after the breaks. But again, with all the things that you're building, David, what is it that you love about the building process that keeps you coming back and keeps you engaged? And you're smiling. I love how you just look up at the stars and smile.
Well, because it's that same itch as a builder. You almost have a naivety to how easy things can be, or how possible things can be. So I think I have a very playful attitude of, everything's just Legos on a table. And if we can just sit here together and play and make things that probably wouldn't have happened if we didn't sit here together, that's what I'm actually most excited about. It's the unknown of really making something possible from absolutely nothing without money. Like you don't need money to be creative or successful. That's actually the first sign of like, I don't know if you have the creativity or the naivety enough to actually get to those like further hurdles. Because 1 through 10 is actually easy. It's 50 through 150,000. That's the hard mode.
Oh, that was good.
I feel like the great entrepreneurs are always like, they are very optimistic when zooming in, but there are maybe like passiveness in zooming out.
Is it a control thing? Like, what is it?
No, I think it's opposite for investors. Investors are always optimistic when zooming out. They always see, oh, the future could be look like this. For example, I would say like it was super sad if 10 years from now, we were still like chat with AI and that is our edge. No, I don't think that could be so. However, when investors are zooming in, they will say, okay, that's what ABC risks. However, the great entrepreneurs, they just see those, when they zooming in, they see great opportunities. They enjoy being firefighters and solve problems.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but as you said, like he's looking up, like smiling. It's like we're kids inside. Like that kid never died inside of us. And I talked with my girl about this just a couple of days ago. Like that's never gonna die in me. And I can't wait to have kids, and we're probably gonna have kids at some point. And like that is the catalyst, like right, this playfulness is everything. And yeah, seeing things as like, I mean, to me it's like human chess, as you're kind of moving through negotiations and everything, always looking at 25 steps ahead. But in the same way that you say, like, as I think actually good entrepreneurs are really good at zooming in, but I think great entrepreneurs are also good at zooming out and seeing the much bigger moonshot that's possible, right?
Yeah,
and I think
they are not like comfortable with that current status, right? So
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we have to zoom out to be able to see what parts need to be nudged.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So you're like, okay, no.
Exactly.
You guys never talked before. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, being the connector, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally my friend's company might just get acquired, but because I'm just made a connection. He's raising a Series B. He has a great technology. They have a great services company, and we're always making that. Our network grows because we're just so open to helping, right? And always giving back. And I think one of the things that you said, like, giving back is also another big thing. Like I mentor a bunch of YC like companies and young entrepreneurs that I see them. And I see myself when I was young, and it's such a good feeling to give back and be able to bring that new generation forward as well. And even though they are advancing at ridiculous levels in terms of, like, let's say revenue now, which is like crazy. You reach $1 million AR in a couple of weeks, right? That was unheard of before. Even with my current company, we're like, oh yeah, we'll get to 5 million by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I would have probably been like, yeah, right. Like, 5 years ago, that would have been impossible. But as we kind of guide that new generation forward, there's so many key learnings that are just foundational that I think are kind of skipped, unfortunately.
Give me one top of mind for you.
Sales. I mean, just the way that you sell, right? Like there's all this automation now, and but they forget the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
That it's all about trust.
But sales isn't just traditional, hey, say this.
Right.
I get the feeling when you say sales, it's human connection.
Human connection, absolutely.
Yeah. And it goes for all three of you. I think
Right.
that's where the advantage is. It's like, I'm going to get to my outcome,
Right.
but I know that there's this gap
Absolutely.
that requires trust, connection, relationship.
Right.
Right. And I
Exactly.
don't think people see that.
Right.
They think there's a strategy, a formula
Right.
that intellectually can be mastered and executed. And I'm sure there is. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But really the good ones, they lead from here.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. No, like last night, my girl and I were both working on different startups, but last night we work till like 11 or something, and
Her own startup, or she's working
her
with
own,
you?
yeah, no, well, we're working together, but
Yeah.
she's making her own thing. We help each other out a lot, and it's really cool. Like we have that balance, right,
Nice.
which is really, really cool. Someone that finally understands my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. I love you. When it comes to this, it's like we were discussing how to get to whatever ARR goal she wants to get to, and it was very algorithmic for her. I'm like, let's pull back a little bit. There's so much more substance that needs to happen for this to actually be like also a very, very loyal customer base as well.
Yeah.
And like for us, like with my first company, with ePrinting, I trained my staff. We're not selling printed paper. We're helping small businesses grow. And that was the moment when everybody was like excited because we're helping that juice shop over there or the podcast here. These guys that are the little guys that are employing half the country. We're helping them grow versus we're just selling the whatever the feature set is. That's
Yeah. It's a big difference between saying, well, here's a product you want it versus here's the value.
Exactly.
Connect to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Brian, let's take a quick little break. And when we come back, we continue this great conversation about insight for startups. But what got these three entrepreneurs here? What was their journey here? We've already talked a lot about it a little bit, but let's go back a little bit further, and we'll talk also about your companies and your fund, Jing, when we come back.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Just got the finger. I thought I was going to get a little.
You were going to get something, but I
Clap.
didn't have
Yeah.
whatever it took. It needed something, and I didn't have it.
We'll just
All
clap here.
We had to. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So we had to quickly come back on air because, again, the energy in the room is great. The conversation is going to continue. David, we had to pause you mid sentence. Like you're super excited about you're getting ready to close.
Yeah. We're about halfway right now. We're raising a pre-seed fund for the healthcare startup. So, or round, not fund. But for the Care Connxion. Yeah. So for the staffing company specifically.
Nice. Talk a little bit about the company. Like what's the problem you're solving? What had you going down? I think we may have all talked about it already a little bit.
Yeah.
But really,
absolutely.
what brought us to this point here?
So right now, as you know, healthcare is just fragmented. It's all over the place with issues. Technology can definitely come in and help, especially like AI, augmented workflows. So for the last few years, the team has been working on a two-sided marketplace to really help the home health agencies that deal with staffing the physical therapist or occupational therapist that go to people's physical homes. A majority of these people are let's say 60 years or older. You can't really get into a car. It's going to be much easier to send someone to their house. The problem is these agencies don't have coverage all over the place, so that they then have to rely on third-party middlemen to help them staff these contractors. So all of this is done through email, telephone. So if you have one patient to staff, you're sending it to 3 to 5 different agencies or middlemen to see if they can staff it. And then it's all like it's a huge time, right? And I think about 70% of these patient referrals do not get accepted. So imagine all these people sitting in their homes not able to even get the care because there's no one to send to their house. So we've created this marketplace for these agencies to be able to post their patient referrals, and then for these contractors to bid on the work and make it more of a seamless interaction in one application, from communication, billing, patient management, all the documentation. And that's where that little device that you were talking about, we're working on something as well to have for the clinicians. So when they go there, a majority of their time is actually spent in their car, either driving or doing paperwork. So imagine half their day is literally just in traffic or doing admin paperwork. So if we can start to augment that while also giving them the ability to find additional work, you can almost look at this as the same problem as Lyft and Uber. They're finding people that need a ride, and where these people don't just need a ride, they actually need service, and for let's say 45 minutes, and then the next the physical therapist has another appointment across town and has to do the same thing over and over and over. So we're building a personal assistant for these physical therapists to help them with documentation, with scheduling, logistics, all that stuff. So
Nice.
Does that also come with peer-to-peer reviews of the practitioners or the individuals going on site, or any kind of profile that you can see who you're getting? Like if it's my mom, I kind of want to know who's showing up.
Right.
Absolutely. So we can show all their credentials and their history, how many years they've been providing the services and such. But yeah, not so much reviews per se, but definitely being able to see qualifications for the most part, making sure that they're a highly qualified person versus just hiring someone that's 2 years into the game or something.
And so does the agency use it or the provider is using?
Both. It's a two-sided marketplace. Okay. So we're really, and we're meeting them where they are. So a lot of, agencies, they have to get on the phone, they have to email. Yeah. So if you can just email our agent, and then our agent can then be the personal assistant. So now we're really matchmaking for the most part and allowing them to, not necessarily be on their phones as much while driving, especially.
Right. Yeah. I got to ask, so I'm assuming you've been working with the Agentic as well at this. How are you educating the market and going to market with this? Because I would assume that a portion of the market you're selling to is kind of stuck in their ways a little bit.
100%.
And so how are you educating the market and going to market? What was kind of your approach to that?
So coming from supply chain, I know how hard it is to retool something. That's not the objective. The objective is I want to get more patients staffed. I want to do it faster, or I want to just make more money. So me being the newest guy in, they already had a design. They're like, we want to productize this. It's like, okay, great, like traditional SaaS. But after a few conversations, it's like, well, that's double entry. Maybe we need to meet them where they are more. So that's where the agents really come in. So we're able to have them not necessarily pick up new workflows, but something that they're already used to doing, which is email, a patient referral. So you can CC us, BCC us, and then from there, our agents can get to work to outcompete the other middlemen and then be able to help them find those clinicians faster.
So you really have to find the path of least resistance to get that adoption.
Absolutely. I think especially now with AI and agents, like if you're not listening to your customers and seeing what is our current workflow, I don't want to change anything. I just want to go faster at what I'm doing.
Right.
And that's more impressive than saying, oh, I have this application, you can go XYZ. And they're like, now I have to train someone. Now I have to dedicate someone. Now I have to, maybe enter that information twice because it's already in our EMR system. So if it's in EMR, why do I want to send it here?
Right. Yeah. So. This goes back to what I was saying earlier when David, you said sales is more than just feature, and pitching it.
Solving a real value.
It's
problem.
empathy, right?
Yeah,
what is the lightest lift and that point of entry from their perspective that could really use this and drive early adoption.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, we actually at inRecovery, that's one of the reasons why we work with these massive enterprise customers. We were 6 months in, I got the second largest treatment center in the U.S. as my customer, and I actually told them, like, I'm too small, I can't help you. Any salesperson would have died, right? But I did it on purpose. I told them I can help you find the right vendor. I've been building tech my whole life. I really care about this space. Let's go and make this happen. I got to see my entire competitive landscape, which is great. They trusted us so deeply that we then...
Wait, let me back that up. Okay, did I hear you correctly? You essentially went to them and said, I know you have this problem. Let me help you find somebody to solve that? Is that what you said?
They came to us. So they cold email. I thought it was my friends fucking messing with me, right?
Oh, you can cuss here. You can let it rip.
I thought my friends were, thank God. Actually, I had an investor once say, like, can you please remove, like, because I had one on my deck, it said addiction treatment is fucked. It's just like a normal letter.
Your discretion is advised.
Nice.
So she circles back. She's like, hey, can you please change that? Because I don't think my partners will like to see this. And I send her a revised deck with like fucked, like in massive red letters. And I'm like, if you can't deal with me saying fucked on a deck, you cannot deal with me in real life. So let's just end it right now. Yeah, getting to a no really quick. Like I gave her a no too. So anyway, going back to what happened, I mean, it's we brought in design thinking into healthcare heavily. That whole idea of empathy, bringing empathy into some problem solving, not just giving solutions, but really understanding what's a core problem they were trying to solve. And I'd love to, however I can help with even helping you close around. I know a bunch of investors in the healthcare space. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, and you guys need our platform as well because we're actually doing a lot of the underlying infrastructure for AI to make this kind of stuff happen.
Perfect.
Sorry, Brian's signaling, but I just want to point out here that we have another match made here on Silicon Valley Impact.
We bring in the best.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it. I love when there's matchmaking going on here.
Yeah, I love it.
It happens a lot.
Yeah, and I'll just wrap it up with this thought. So, and it might be a hack as you're dealing with enterprise deployments, and anyone that's doing any kind of an enterprise sales or even just deploy. I mean, the sales process is hard enough. Then the real hard part is deploying and getting adoption and actually having that customer use what you just spend a year selling them, right? So, one of the things that we did was we always gave the clinician, they were involved in weekly stand-ups with us, and every clinician had their own say. And it was really interesting for them because they're used to EMRs where like you just have to adapt to their workflow, not the other way around. So inRecovery was completely shaped, it fit like a glove for them. And that was their button. And because that was their button, they were so excited to use that software. It was no longer like, oh God, IT is pushing something down our throat. It's like, this actually works so well for us. Like this saves me so much time, or this does this for me. And like that. And again, going back to listening to your customer, we were obsessive about that. And the same thing with Clinica Mind. We're going the same route with that obsession.
I know, summarize that for me. So you found the button. And if you were to be educating a lot of the founders out there, and this may be your secret size, you may not want to give it away.
Of course.
But I really think it's valuable. Summarize what that looks like from beginning to end of finding someone's button. Not beginning to end, just bullet points really quick.
Finding so I mean, think about it from this perspective. Let's say you have a piece of software that's really complex. It's for enterprise. It's got all these features. Or maybe it's super simple. Maybe it's just agents. Doesn't matter. It's all about distilling it to what problem you're solving for that customer. So what is it that is deeply a real problem? No, don't come with solutions, because we're all solutions thinkers. There's this Stanford D School, a really famous photo of this little girl reaching out for a book. I forget the name of the professor from the D school. He's phenomenal, and he always walks people through this exercise of what does this girl need, and everybody says, oh, she needs a book, she needs a ladder, she needs an adult, and we go through the whole design thinking process, which is all empathy based, and we get to the why and really derive that insight, right, that key insight. And the reality is that she just needs attention. She needed attention because her parents are having a birthday or party, and they're just ignoring her, right? So it goes back to, like, instead of selling features and solutions, you want to really get deeper. Ask the why 5, 10 times till someone's crying because their parents didn't give them enough attention as a child. You get to that point where, like, that's the real why. And that happened to me at a hospital recently for Clinica Mind. I'll talk to you more about that in a second. But the why was when I was with one of our founding advisors. He brought me in. I actually wore scrubs for the first time in my life. And he's like, you're my attendee. Don't talk to security. Don't do the David. Don't talk to anyone. Just walk with me. And then once we're inside, then talk to everyone. So I was talking to clinicians and the patients. And at one point, he's talking to me and he's saying, we basically communicate through the CHR. And I was like, holy fuck, that's it. That was the insight. This is a communication platform. But it's always been built as a documentation platform. So we're changing the paradigm with Clinica Mind, where this is going to be communication and collaboration first, and then documentation and all the other workflows and stuff as a byproduct.
So there's an element here of really designing the category, or redesigning the category.
Well, what we're doing, yes,
yeah,
absolutely. But to summarize what you were asking about, the bullet points is just get to that why with your customers. Learn about design thinking. It's super fascinating and amazing process, and it really helps you when it comes to having that button that we talked about. That's their interface, that's their list, that's their button. That drives adoption through the roof because that customer had a say in designing that, right?
Yeah.
And that's super powerful.
I think what I picked up on most of that is the root why. You know what I mean? Because there's so many whys that we kind of, as founders, can get stuck on. Oh, that's it. It's low-hanging whys right in front of us.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's why everyone else is going to do the same thing as you.
Yeah.
But the one that actually goes to the root why,
right,
that's the one that wins.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's really insightful. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's almost like as an exercise, it's like, what do you think is the why? Okay, well, what if that's just the first why?
Exactly.
What's the actual second and third why that got you to those whys? So I like that.
Yeah, we exactly asked dozens of whys to founders when we ask, like, why do you care? Why you care for this? Why do you care for this, solving these problems or coming up with something? So it's a similar. I think fundamentally we share the similar kind of like thinking process to dig the root why.
Right.
And I don't invest in B2B, we invest in consumer, but I see the similar patterns on consumer insights and their whys.
Absolutely.
And I think so we discovered actually is the emotional value is underestimated. Right now, everybody was talking about the functional value, like functionality. How do I save my time, or how do I add XYZ functions on this? However, what consumers day-to-day needs is emotional care, emotional bonding, emotional value. You can give that. And if you can give that to consumers with their insights, I think you can tap.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that how you came up with
customers.
the Y plus ventures?
Well, yeah.
See what I did there?
That's nice.
That's a double. You click on the deeper side. On the surface, we want to like x-axis and y-axis. We want to stay on the upper side of y-axis.
Got it.
But also why we invest in Y's.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can take that. You can have that one.
I love it.
But talk a little bit, Jing, double click on that a little bit. Talk about like what are those things that you're looking for primarily from founders that you see as fundable? What are the boxes that are checked within your own strategy that says, okay, this is a company I want to get a second look at?
Well, I think we do this. Well, I think first the premise is it should be VC fundable, because VC, we as a business model, we want to find something sizable market and scalability. That's the premise. However, if you pass that, then fundamentally it's the people. And we look into the team and exactly whether they have the whys. And so we look at founders, we look deeply on, do they have competitive genes? Do they are they like drive to win? And also we look at, for example, resilience as well as adaptive. are they adaptive or not? Because the world is changing so
Coachable,
fast.
right.
Yeah.
So there's really something to be said about the competitive side of a
Yeah.
founder. Do they have those resilient factors? Character matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I think intelligence is important, but really character is a big thing.
I think characters is one is if you want to have a winner take all market, you want to occupy that market, you need to be very competitive, overly competitive. You need to have the belief that you will be the one who will be the number one. Where number two, maybe you cannot even accept you will be the number two. So I think that competitiveness, and then are you resilient or not? Because there are ups and downs, and all the times there are downs.
Yeah.
And are they willing to take the steps to just to be determined and hang there? That's a super. Yeah, I think that's different.
Yeah, you can almost
That's
see it when
different.
a lot of startups take, because, think, for example, we were at Plug and Play the other day, and someone takes the stage. You can almost see the way that they carry themselves
Yeah.
about their capacity to compete. And then when they speak and they articulate and what they're addressing, it really can be seen in less than a minute, in less than 30 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
and people can come from different backgrounds. People can come from, I think, as you mentioned earlier, I think something could be genetic, something could be you are driven by the environment. So, for example, I was grown up absolutely 100% opposite of you.
Yeah.
Your situation, I was raised by a very loving family. My parents always protect me super well. So it's almost like a warm house flower. But however, I think my driven was I hacked the system in China. I figured out if you are the number one student in the school, you can have absolutely freedom to do whatever you like. So I hate PE when I was a kid. So I can skip PE classes. I can go back to the home and watch TV. So then I realized, okay, so excellence gives you the leverage, and the leverage gives you the agency.
Right.
And agency are what's actually driven me so deeply. So then I was the number one student from elementary school all the way to high school. And then I ended up with the best school in China, which I
Nice.
think the admission rate was 0.0001%. I was the
Nice.
number one. And then I went to the PNG at that time as my career starter, but then that was super competitive as well.
Right.
So I think I grew up, although I didn't have that, for example, life didn't bear me that hard. However, the competitiveness of the winning in the environment is the same.
Right.
And I need to be resilient. I need to be adaptive. And thinking about moving the whole family from China to here, I have 2 kids.
Wow.
And then, I think those life experience actually fundamentally the essence would be the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can completely. By the way, just I had a very loving home, but
Yeah.
we grew up in a hard neighborhood, but my family was amazing. But to your point, I hacked my way out of high school because I was just so fucking bored.
Yeah.
And like you said, you hacked the system, you figured a way to have that freedom.
Yeah.
To do what you loved, right? So for me, the reason I hacked the school district was because I wanted to go. So I had straight F's because I would just go, or
Same here.
D's or C's, yeah, because I basically would just go and take the test. I get highest grades in the class usually. Actually, one math professor is Mexican and Jewish, so it was like a double whammy to this super racist professor that I had, and I got the highest score in his math class, and he forced me to take the test again, and I got the high score in all of his classes, and he was super fucking pissed off. But so I used to just take I had my high school had a program with the community college, and I can go and actually take classes that I loved, like linear algebra, like differential calculus, like really fun stuff for me, at least my geeky self. And same as you, you just find a way to okay, this is my card for freedom. I unfortunately took the darker side of the equation, but yeah, I would not wish anyone to compete with me because I'm extremely competitive.
That's great insight to having that competitive edge.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to, we're getting close to the end of the show. We can go as long as you want, but we're kind of winding down. Jing, I want to ask you, so what's next for you and Y Plus Ventures? What's kind of on the horizon? What's next for you guys?
Well, we want to build a super different venture capital firm. We think there should be a venture capital firm like us exist. Diversity brings value. I think network can be built, not necessarily born with, and trust can be earned. And the way you develop the relationship with founders could be different. I think we're not coming as Shark Tank, like the judges judging you, like, are you doing the right thing or not? But we come in as we want to understand what we're doing. We're doing portfolio construction. We are putting the bets. However, there should be discipline in that bet. So we, for example, the way we're doing with the build the relationship with the founders are, if we feel like some fit, we'll be very quick, offer some handshake investment, and then I could put that founders next day to all the, for example, Stanford affiliated VCs, and then just try and then we invest first, and then we evaluate deeper. That is like total different, I think, approach versus, okay, we just spend 2 or 3 months doing due diligence on you. Then we decide, I would rather say either no at the very front or yes very quickly, and then we deep dive and getting more bets later on. And how we build the fund also can be different. For example, we're probably will be hands off, not hands on, because we don't want to intervene. We feel there is an information asymmetry between investors and founders. We don't have the sufficient information to give that advice. So we will see very clearly on, for example, which are the advice fact-based or which are the objective advice. And we will be very cautious on saying advice on that front. And I think the whole, like how you build the whole ecosystem around the fund could be different. Yeah.
So
and by the way, we're building this. Also, we're leveraging the AIs to kind of like due diligence and write memos for us. And I think that could be so that we can save more time to have those conversations with founders and understand their whys, instead of putting a lot of time to do analysis in the back office just so that we please or have some excuse.
So you're really taking advantage of things that provide speed for yourselves and the founders. Okay.
Remind me to connect with Josh Cohen from CityLight Ventures up in New York. They actually built something called The Machine. I helped them with that. It was like before ChatGPT, they were using AI too. And they're a social impact focused investor, but they take a very similar approach where they just invest right away. And then they can follow on on larger rounds, right? But they have a program for startups, which is called the Spark program. And they basically just,
it's a great
they
name.
love you. They done. Let's go. And I mean, it's really hard to get into it, but it's like it's a really cool name. Yeah, the Spark of Brian Spark. It was you inspired it, man.
You just blew my mind. You blew my mind.
So anyway, but I'll connect you, and he's a really good guy, and maybe some potential collaboration there too.
Yeah. Sounds good. Definitely.
David, while you have the mic, and of course, David, I'm going to ask you both these questions. So what's next for both of you? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, so I haven't even talked about what I'm building. Just the conversation is so interesting.
Yeah.
So Clinical Mind, we're focusing on building digital twins for healthcare, and essentially, making healthcare more human again in many ways. Ironically, through AI, right? And one of the things that we're doing is also creating these kind of like assistant models. But what's very unique about what we're doing is that we're actually, Meta's partnered with us. The Superintelligence Group is working with us, and we are creating these narrow models essentially for every specialty, one for neurology, one for gastroenterology, because most AI applications go from the application layer straight to the LLM. And while that works, and then you're kind of at the mercy of ChatGPT not just completely screwing you, right? So we're creating a whole infrastructure around it where every provider has their own model, so that any AI that we bring into it, and I've been building ML for the last 20 years of my life, so it's just common sense for me. But we're basically creating this model that the moment that you bring AI into it, any agent, any digital twin, it is supercharged. And then it gets to the point of the narrow model. Let's say it's a neurology case or a neurology doctor using this. The inference may actually finish at the neurology narrow model, so it can be super fast. And everything that we're doing is very conversational. So we're really focusing on conversational interfaces. And so we should talk about that. Maybe you guys can even pilot what we're doing there. But We haven't done anything with home healthcare, but it's kind of like primary care in many ways. So anyway, so that's kind of the secret sauce of what we're doing. And obviously then cashing that into vector stores and making the whole conversational flow super, super fast and natural, right? And so, yeah, for us, our biggest ask is, we're not really fundraising right now. We've already, my girl always she's like, how do you do this? So we already gotten to about 150 in ARR. We have no pitch deck. We have no product yet. We're still building the product. We've already raised money. We have no pitch deck again. We haven't really actively gone out and raised. But I think in the next couple of weeks, we are going to start formalizing a raise. So reach out and happy to talk. We're probably going to raise about $2.5 million. Again, we've been proving the market first with the product and talking to customers and getting things right. I've been building healthcare for the last 10 years. And there's no MVP in healthcare. And so we've been building it correctly. My boyfriend Perplexity, he joined us, and we literally rented a house down here in Mountain View for 2 weeks and just jammed. We had the HF0 interview, and actually they denied us only because the team. They were like, come back, please, next cohort. We just want to see you guys work a little longer together, because it was a very new team.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it just goes back to the importance of a team, right? But yeah, we got selected to the virtual interview and the in-person interview for HF0, which was pretty awesome, because that's already 100 people out of the thousands and tens of thousands that
well, good.
Apply.
That's great momentum. I'm happy to hear that. And definitely want you to come back at some point and kind of tell us how that story evolves. And David, you're building as well at this point. What's next for you? What do you see on the horizon?
Well, exploring that tech, as long as it's HIPAA compliant. That sounds like
it is, absolutely.
Yeah, that's always the biggest hurdle for us in healthcare is, can we use this? And it's like, it's no BAA, so you can't use it.
It's easy.
So yeah, that's really cool. Nice. For us, as I said, more of the day-to-day is on the healthcare stuff. It's where I'm needed most, so I'm spending a lot of time there. But yeah, closing the round, building out a small team, because it's just myself really right now and augmented staff. But we do have SF Tech Week coming up, so we're getting a house over in South City by Genentech. It's a pretty big house. It's my friend's house, actually.
So. Nice. Just for the week?
For the week, we got a bunch of founders in, so
nice.
We'll be cross-pollinating. People that want customers, people that want investment. So just kind of helping the whole Invaluable Labs crew. So the whole... And I didn't really explain what Invaluable Labs is. It's, as I said, it's like a vibe venture studio where I'm finding exceptional operators that need technical expertise or fundraising help or something beyond domain expertise.
Right.
So I'm more of a growth hacker. I like to help them from 0 to 1, and just finding really excellent operators to help them, instead of just consulting where it's like, hey, I'll give you advice. We'll actually help build out the product, build out the team, and roll it out that way. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. I gotta ask both of you this before I go off the air. My buddy Colin Baring, Stack Ventures, wants to have a hackathon. I want to have a hackathon. You guys still doing those?
Oh, dude, I wish there were more, because I have. For 3 or 4 years, the only T-shirts I would wear were free hackathon T-shirts, because I get so many every week.
Because you're hardcore. You got socks on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I have Miro socks on right now.
Yeah, no, exactly. So coming in blockchain, so I have all these dead companies, which is amazing. And then you have some winners, which is cool. But yeah, no, I love hackathons because it really brings in the creative element to what's possible. And when I first started attending hackathons, I didn't know what an API was. I just went in saying, you need ideas? Let's do it. And then my first hackathon was a Mercedes hackathon. Uber tried hiring me. And I'm like, I'm not an engineer. I was like, I guess I got to go to a boot camp. So it's like the opportunities I think that it generates and the curiosity and the type of people that would attend.
Absolutely.
And for building community, especially because I met some of my earliest, tech founder friends from hackathons. And then they would win. And all of a sudden now Samsung Ventures is investing in them. And it's like, oh, great. So it looked like an avenue for launching more so, especially not going to college and stuff.
Have you had a chance to come over to 1900 Broadway yet?
Over at Stack?
Oh yeah,
I went once. I want to, dude. That place is phenomenal. Plus, I play golf, so
you love simulators.
They have 2 golf simulators there.
Nice.
Like it's a co-working. They have a podcast studio.
1900 Broadway.
Yeah, it's a 39-story, brand new, state-of-the-art building.
Holy crap.
It has hacker houses. I think there's like five floors of co-living for founders.
That's amazing.
But we really want to do a hackathon there, and so maybe I can pick
Well,
your.
yeah, I mean, I've been helping MIT organize MIT Hacking Medicine for like, gosh, years now.
Okay.
We operationalized like thousands, like I think multiple thousands of people remotely during COVID. We did the COVID-19 challenge.
Okay.
And more recently now here, I've been very involved in the hackathon scene.
Okay,
We
well-
actually have a hackathon coming up if you guys want to go to it.
Yeah, for
September
sure.
19 with Creators Corner. We're
That's
doing
Friday.
our 10th. Yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm deeply ingrained in the whole hackathon community. So
All right. Well, let's
Nice.
have a
Down
second
to do
conversation
something.
about
Absolutely,
that. Yeah. And I
You
got
know as well, I can bring some Stanford kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Something really, really
Competition right there, right under the nose of Berkeley. Yeah, that'd be really.
Yes.
All right. Well, definitely
I
let us have a
love
second
it.
conversation about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're raising, building, doing great things. Jing, I want to ask you what's next for you guys,
Yeah, we are raising and investing. So
Okay.
both sides as well. Yeah.
and then how can people connect with you?
You just yplusventures.com and there's information, or just send me Jing at yplusventures.com. That's my email.
Okay, and you're on LinkedIn.
Oh
so
yeah, I'm also on LinkedIn.
okay,
Yeah.
David, how can people connect with you?
Text me 212-969-8870.
I love that. I'm just old
That's my
school.
number. Yeah.
Yeah.
My New York number. Or just email me, David at clinicamind.com. It's clinica as in like clinical without the L, just like in Spanish, clinicamind.com.
Love it. How can people connect with you, David?
You can find me at david@invaluablelabs.com or david@thecareconnection.com. Both work. Or on LinkedIn. You know, that works. As coming from crypto, I would never give you my phone number. Real. And if you did get my number, it's a Google Voice number. So a little recommendation on identity theft.
Love it. I love it. Well, I want to thank all three of you for being here today. I've loved this conversation. It's been phenomenal. You please come back anytime. I'm guarantee you our audience is going to love hearing this episode. And I'll remind our audience, please go to YouTube and follow us. Hit that subscribe button. Brian, any other add-ons before we sign
I
off?
got no other add-ons. Great conversation. Thanks everybody for coming in. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Great
Brian.
seeing you. We'll
Awesome.
see you all
This is
next
really
week.
cool.
Please stay safe.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you so much.